shit.
Hey everyone, Trigonite here. So today we're going to go ahead and kick off a new series on my channel. It's going to be talking about what Destiny and Bungie needs to include moving on with their game series to make the game a better game. Now, considering this podcast is going to mostly feature Rue, myself, and Gohan. By the way, if you're not, I haven't introduced that actually. So, Kakarot, our roommate, is actually now changed his identity for the rest of Destiny 1, and going into Destiny 2, he's going to be Gohan. It's his favorite anime character, so you all should know who he is for now on in my videos. So yeah, that's our roommate, Pete, and now known as Gohan. So anyways, guys, kicking off episode 1 of this podcast series. It's going to basically be us doing different things while talking about, Destiny in general, the game, moving on with the franchise. And episode 1 is going to kick it off straight into what does Destiny need to do, and Bungie, in order to improve their game. So obviously, with us all three being competitive players, we're going to have more of a competitive point of view. I think I can speak for them on that. Rue and I came from competitive Halo for 7-8 years worth, so we're definitely going to have a point of view similar to how we thought back then. And honestly, just to say it straight out, I believe, my opinion, is that Destiny 2 should, already it's going in the right direction, making it 4v4, making it more competitive based. I like what I heard from the reveal on May 18th. However, it's obviously not here yet, so we'll have to see how that plays out once it gets here. Rue, Pete, y'all's thoughts?
I think it is going to be a lot more competitive. I mean, they're already talking about it's going to be multiplayer based, and they're working on campaign and multiplayer. Which I don't think you should leave out campaign, because Call of Duty's kind of been completely leaving out campaign the last maybe 3 or 4 games. And you can really see that no one plays campaign anymore. People will seriously jump straight into multiplayer because the campaign's that bad.
Well, the splicers won't forget you anytime soon.
I think a big part of what they need to concentrate on is being able to accompany the maps for the style of 4v4 play. Honestly, all the maps I feel like in Destiny 1 are kind of big ass maps made for either 5-on-5 or 6-on-6. Except for exceptions of a few, whether 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So I feel
Did
like
he
they need to
sound
be more
upset to you?
symmetrical if you're going.
I think he's upset.
And they need to be more smaller. I know Destiny's a totally different game than Halo, but Halo's one of the most competitive games there ever was. Went through the MLG circuit for years, with starting out with Halo 1 all the way up to Halo 4. And you got Halo Championship Series now and Halo 5. So really, I would like it to be, better maps, more symmetrical maps for Destiny 2. I'd like to see that. I think that would help out the competitiveness of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, looking at the Halo series, the way it has advanced, through the years, it actually looks like it went in a backwards direction. You start off with Halo 1, obviously, back in 2000. That's not, Xbox Live isn't even a thing for, almost a half a decade away. And you jump into Halo 2 in 2004, right when Xbox Live launches, and it's the biggest game at all. It's totally the biggest game. I mean, I can't speak from a PC's perspective, but I didn't play PC, but console-wise, it was the biggest game. Xbox, was fresh. I think Xbox, the original Xbox, came out in 2001, which is when Halo came out as well, Halo 1. Then Halo 2 comes out in 04, right at the same time Xbox Live came out in 03, 04, and it instantly is huge. Everyone's playing online, everyone's playing Halo, whether you're bad or good, whether you're a pro, whether you're just a casual gamer. And obviously MLG had a huge time with Halo 2. Huge success for a whole 3 years. And then from 2004 to 2007, Halo 2 reigned on Xbox Live, and it reigned at MLG events, and it made, hundreds of thousands of dollars for competitors as well as the organization, made millions off of it. And everyone, basically everyone had fun. You know, obviously there was connection issues online. There was people that were able to cheat, do standby bridging, stuff like that online. But launching into Halo 3, Bungie was very successful, and that's kind of the ironic thing that we're talking about Halo here, is because Bungie is the creator of Halo, and now they are the creator of Destiny. So they were able to replicate, or if they're able to replicate in Destiny 2 what they were back in Halo, their old game, then it can be just as successful as their old game was. Halo 2 jumped right into Halo 3 and didn't knock off any success. It might have even gotten bigger. MLG got more advanced, you know, with some of the stuff they did. And, you know, the game is just as popular. Some people, they'll easily say, Halo 2 is my favorite game of all time. Other people, oh, Halo 3 is my favorite game of all time. And honestly, it's kind of like, you know, really when you came up. Like, you know, actually all of us, you know, being around the same age, we were all, you know, middle school or just fresh into high school when Halo 2 was, you know, the thing. And then towards the end of high school, Halo 3 was huge. So it's like, you probably played more video games towards the end of high school than we did towards the end of middle school. Therefore, Halo 3 would probably be more prominent to us. But, you know, nevertheless, both games were extremely successful, extremely fun to play. You played them for the entirety that they were around, that they were really relevant. And MLG, competitive gaming, the heart of competitive gaming, as everyone knows it, with MLG, Halo had a huge success. Go into Halo Reach, though, and what happens? MLG had it for like a year or something, and then they dropped it because it wasn't as successful. Why? The one thing that's different between Halo 2 and Halo 3, besides the, you know, the game engine felt a lot different, you know, granted, was the fact that I don't think anyone really had incentive to play that game online. You have, and see, that's where the online kind of comes in, and I want to hear y'all's opinion on that. But with the 1 to 50 ranking system in both Halo 2 and Halo 3, and then not including anything but online stat tracking websites such as Halo Tracker, that's all you had. In Destiny, now it's Destiny Tracker, because the tracking company or whatever does Destiny Tracker, Halo Tracker, Call of Duty Tracker. Whoever runs that website, that group of guys that run that website, and maybe girls too, but the group of people that run that website, those are the only ones giving any incentive, just like Destiny Trials Report. You know, when you're playing this game, you're basically just trying to play for ELO, win-loss, your KD, like those kind of things. Something you're looking for, something to play for on this game. And really, when does this game get in the top of the directory? Every weekend. Why? Because Trials. It finally gives someone something to play for. You know, you do carries. You know, people have successful streams. People want to watch that kind of thing. And I just feel like, you know, if there was a 1 to 50 ranking system, you would actually hear people during the week say, hey guys, you want to play some Control? Or hey guys, you want to play Skirmish? Hey guys, you want to play Elimination, Doubles, you know, Rumble, whatever. Because Halo 2 and 3, you didn't have to have a thing like Trials to keep the game relevant. Why? Because there was always something to work for. You were always playing for your 50. In Halo 3, the reason why Halo 3 was probably bigger and more successful online based than Halo 2 is because, one, you couldn't really cheat. I mean, you could cheat, but it wasn't as likely as Halo 2. Like, you couldn't even get a legit 50 in Halo 2 because of cheating. Highest you could probably get was like somewhere in between 38 and like 44, depending on the playlist. And then you were just going to face nothing but cheaters every single time. But with Halo 3, they came out with that TU2 system where you had like a army rank, like a general, brigadier, colonel, all that kind of stuff, just like you did overall, but then they gave you one for each one of your playlists. So see, that's something that's really, really interesting, because then it gave you, like, oh, well, I want to be known for doubles. Okay, well, now I'm a 50 in doubles, but how am I different than the kid that just got his 50 in doubles? How does it show that I'm a true 50 that has 1,000 wins on my 50? Oh, well, now let's give them a rank in each and every playlist so that they can be more relevant than somebody that just got their 50 or just got boosted to their 50 or just got carried to their 50. And then that's how you had people that were like 50 5-star generals in playlists, and you knew that they ran shit. So what's y'all's thoughts on all that?
I think he's upset.
I'd like to see a ranking system for sure. I think it would just give something more to play for. I mean, there's already going to be a lot to play for in Destiny 2.
Oh yeah.
And I know DLC is going to keep coming out. That's going to keep it relevant for kids that like PvE. Yep. But yeah, ranking system would make multiplayer just that much better. A huge improvement.
True.
Yeah. you have to have replay value in the game. Yeah, and definitely for the kids that are ultra competitive, something like a racing system, something that is only for, you know, the kids that are really down the stretch every time they jump in the game, because that's what they love to do. You have to have something like that
Heads
for,
up. We're not done
you know,
yet.
the types of players, you know, to keep them coming back and not, you know, going to, you know, traditional games like Call of Duty and, you know, now Halo Championship Series is out for Halo. And, so yeah, I agree that you need
That
to have
alarm.
something
Something's
that,
up.
you know, is just for the competitive players that keep them coming. And you also have to have stuff for, you know, the kids that are not talented and, you know, get them to keep coming back as well. Obviously, your main audience, I guess, for the game, your players, are going to be kids that are
This
either
should help.
mediocre or, you know, not great. It's okay, you need those players. So yeah, there's something for everyone to come back to.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. One thing, real quick, move the mic as close to your mouth as you can, because, like, I don't know how it's going to turn out in the video, but you're super low. It's a little bit better, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like what Pete touched on when he first spoke, definitely keep PvE relevant, because even the top, you know, premier PvP kids like their PvE. I like PvE, y'all like PvE, but it's not something we're going to prefer over PvP. But I do like what Destiny did in this game, different than any other game, you know, that's been top in competitive PvP or first-person play like Call of Duty and Halo. No matter what you did in PvE, it wasn't relevant to your PvP. In this, you go out, you know, you do stuff in raids and strikes and, you know, at public events like now, and you're actually helping yourself for a you're helping yourself actually be able to be more relevant in PvP. You go out, you know, you get a good roll and a good gun, like, you know, kids that want to use Saladin's Visual. This is where you have to go to get that gun. And then you can mop people's asses in Crucible and in Trials with that gun, but you get it from doing a PvE public event. So it's like, definitely keep that stuff relevant, because I feel like it gives the game replay value in its own. I guarantee that most of the replay value for you know, less fortunate PvP players was PvE. People would, you know, they'd sign on, instead of to play Trials, they'd sign on to do the Nightfall and you know, check what the vendors were selling for the week. Tuesday resets are big for kids that are not even, you know, very good at PvP. And so keep that stuff relevant so that you have something to work for. Plus, whenever I'm not, you know, down to really sweat and play hard and I just want to sit back and chill, I don't mind doing a Nightfall myself. And there's really not this much, you know, that much left in this game that I can really achieve PvE based. But when when Destiny 2 comes out, the first thing we're going to do on the 24-hour stream is grind the campaign. Start getting our light up or whatever, you know, if there's, you know, is going to be light. It's going to be a 200 base light with level 20. We're going to be grinding for that level 20 200 light, if that's still the case and what it is at launch. We're going to be grinding for that. We're going to be grinding for a decent gun to go into Crucible with. You know, so we're going to be looking for that kind of stuff because we're just starting out. Just like on this game, you first start out and you're doing, you know, the first missions on Earth. You're obviously looking for a start on this game. And that's kind of something that I really like. I don't like, you know, it so much that, you know, I think it's something that's going to make or break the game, like I think the ranking system, but I think it's definitely something they need to include because it can only benefit the game. If you don't include PvE, if you do something like Call of Duty, for example, it's not going to kill your game. Your game's still going to be successful as long as you do PvP right, because the people that are going to stay and play this game for years, no matter how the campaign is the sweats, the highly skilled, highly motivated PvP players. But I feel like PvE definitely is important, and you should definitely respect it and honor it and give it some love moving forward if you're Bungie.
Does he sound upset to you? I think he's upset.
Now, moving into the next part of this episode, what like detailed type of ranking system do you two and myself, like, what do we prefer Destiny to include? Like, Call of Duty in the past has obviously done ranking system. You know, they're going to be online leaderboards like Destiny Tracker all the time, no matter what. But on game, what do you think? Because, like, Call of Duty and Battlefield, Battlefront, I think might have done it. You know, those type of games usually are much more leaderboard based, where there will be like a global leaderboard. You might be able to even be more specific and search like area, like regional, like on Destiny or on Halo Tracker. When me and Rue were playing SWAT, we used to search all the way down to local, where me and Rue could see that me and Rue were by far the number 1 and 2 players for SWAT in Wilmington, North Carolina. And then we were like top 5 or top 10 for North Carolina. And then we were like top 100 or something like that for like nation. Like ranking systems like that, or do y'all think it has to be like a 1 to 50 or like 1 to 100 or 1 to 70, like something more like that? What's y'all's thoughts on that?
That's a tough question.
My thing is, I've always been a huge fan of the 1 to 50 ranking system, being a Halo player, but I don't know, like, for the kids that are not as great, I don't know if that would keep them coming back to having a system like that, because everyone wants to reach the highest level possible. You know that's one reason they keep coming back. But if a kid keeps getting discouraged that he can't, make it, to that level, no matter how hard he
Hey,
tries,
Bob, res her up.
then then they're gonna probably just quit the game, and you can't have that. So really, you're stuck in a standstill here because your game hasn't failed without it. So it's really, what the community says. For me personally, I would like a 1 to 50 ranking system because I feel like I can strive in that. I feel like I can get to the highest level possible. But I just don't know if that's the best thing for the whole community as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion, or Pete, do you have a specific opinion about it, or you're just kind of in the middle?
I don't think there's a reason they couldn't be able to do both leaderboards and a 1 to 50 ranking system.
Yeah. And honestly, without a system like a TU2 system like Halo 3 had, they might have to do something like that in order to set the bar and show the difference between people that reach max skill. Just like people like in this game, like the best thing you can achieve technically in a overall standpoint, not just a PvP or PvE, is a 40-400 light. Or back whenever it first started, it was like a level 2, and I don't remember because I haven't played in year 1 like how the attack thing really worked. I don't know if there really even was like a max attack that you could get to or max light. But in year 2, obviously, it was a 40 with 335 light. And in year 3, they advanced it up to 400 light. So, like, if once you got 40 to 400 light, we play kids in trials all the time that we easily 5-0, and we can play with our feet. And it's the point is that, like, how do you distinguish between the different skill level or different achievement, that we've earned versus those kids when all 6 players are 40, 400 light? And that's kind of like one of those things with the TU2 system. It's like, oh, well, I'm a 50 in MLG. Oh, yeah, so am I. Oh, I'm a 50 captain. I've played, less than 100 games or less than 50 games on my 50. Oh, I'm a 55-star general. I have 2,500 wins. It's like, okay, well, you can tell that kid's probably a lot more, skilled. So it's like one of those things where, like, when the TU2 system launched in, 2009 or 2010, whenever, maybe 2008, I don't remember. With the game coming out 2007, the game has been out for at least a year by the time that system, launched. A lot of people had their 50s. A lot of people came back to play that game because, they got a 50 in something. They were like, okay, well, there's nothing really to do. I got a 50 in it. But now people wanted to be like, oh, well, now I'm going to play on my 50 because there's a reason to. And they would play on their 50 and they would, try to boost that rank. Because some people are like, okay, well, I got, the highest rank. Why risk losing it? I can't go up. I can only go down. And so if they didn't have, like, just a crazy amount of fun playing on their 50, playing that game type, then they would just go to another game type and try to get a 50 in that. They try to get a 50 in every single game type. Like, Rue, I don't know if you remember the guy Shadows Killer that had, like, 13 50s in different playlists and stuff. One of the best kids I've ever seen play Halo 3. That kid, he had 50s in, like a dozen playlists before that system even came out. And then he went back to get 50, like, higher, like, TU2 system ranks in those playlists. And, like, that kind of was, like, I guess their replacement for a leaderboard because the kids that were 50 with, like, 2,000 plus games were 55 stars, which were the best thing you could be. A 5-star general in the playlist with a 50, overall, so you were obviously a beast. And that was good enough to be at least a general grade 3 overall. So it was just like, that was a really cool system. I don't know if Bungie will obviously copy their old game, the Halo 3 system, do something like that, or if they'll do something completely different and make Destiny something of its own, because obviously Halo 2 and 3 were different. similar in nature, but Halo 2 came with like picture ranks once you got to 44, 45. Yeah, 45 I believe. Might have been 44.
What do y'all think about tiers? Like gold, bronze, silver, platinum, diamond.
See, my thing with that is like that kind of goes into like the new era, which I wanted to discuss. Right now, perfect timing to actually bring that up, because with Halo Reach, Bungie obviously it was said that Bungie released, it was the last game that Halo game that Bungie ever did, and after doing something like Halo 2 and then something like Halo 3 to give us Halo Reach was kind of like a spit in the face, because obviously they were done with the franchise. They weren't making any more Halo games. They were working on this game actually at the time. And they weren't going to give us anything else. They were looking, I guess, to sell the company. They ended up selling it to 343. Halo Reach, at the end of its life, became 343's responsibility, heading into Halo 4 and Halo 5. But, see, the thing about Halo Reach is that it came out with the Arena, is what it was called. It was the only ranking system in matchmaking, online matchmaking, and it was the Arena. You had to play a certain amount of placement games to get ranked, and then you would try to move up. And
Roots perfected.
basically what you would do is the lowest was Iron, then there was Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Onyx. And Onyx was the best that you could do, but then once you got to a certain like ranking, a certain tier, you would end up getting put into a like divisional percentage. So the best you could be in the entire game was a Onyx top 1 percentile, which basically says, okay, well, now I'm a top 1% in the world at the highest division, the highest tier. So I got a splicer key, I'm popping it. And so basically what that did was it let people know, okay, if it'll let me use my splicer key. Right, there we go. But basically what it did
I get that, Captain.
was it let everyone know that, hey, I'm the top 1% and I'm also in the highest divisional tier. Halo 4 didn't include a single bit of ranking system at all. Like all their playlists were completely just social playlists, just like Destiny, just like this game. But there was Halo Tracker that kind of gave it like and Halo Tracker was really like the thing that saved it, kind of like Halo Reach. You were playing, actually Halo Reach had, on Halo Tracker, it had Halo 2's like 1 to 50. Where it was like once you got to a certain point, you got a picture rank kind of, but it wasn't like a picture rank. It was just like their own designed visual rank for like a 50, like 1 to 50, as if like Halo 2 didn't use pictures. Instead, and it was really cool. It was something to play for. A lot of people always played for it. But then you had those people that were like, "Oh, Halo Tracker," like talking like that ain't nothing. Like it was stupid to even consider something like a website-based ranking system. But it obviously was an algorithm that took your stats and tried to rank you. And so and I thought it was cool, but it wasn't something like a lot of people even knew about, at first at least. So it was something where like it's never going to be as successful as an in-game ranking system or even an in-game leaderboard. And Halo 4 didn't include anything at all. So so basically what we have is the little arena thing that failed for Halo Reach. Then we move into Halo 4, they don't even include an arena thing. They just go completely social based. And then Halo 5, we came out with the a ranking system again, but it was basically like Halo 4's Arena, where you ranked into a tier. You had either and God, I even forget how the ranks were in Halo 5. I know Champion was the best, and Champion was only the top 200 players. I think it was like kind of like Iron. No, it was Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, and then Champion. And once you got into Champion, it was only the top 200 players in the world. Now, let me tell you what the problem, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion that I played with, was about that kind of ranking system. So let's say you don't have as much time on your hands as Rue. So you and Rue are 2 players. You're both champion, but Rue has a lot more time to grind the game. Let's say that y'all are both about equal skill, neck and neck, but you end up getting kicked out of Champion numerous times while Rue remains in the top 20 in the world in Champion. But your stats are similar. Your win-loss is similar. Why is it? It's because if you don't play, you lose your rank. And I think that's something that was extremely stupid, because it disables people from being able to play multiple playlists. So for now, you can't, go grind doubles and then go grind SWAT and then come back and grind Slayer. Why? Because if you don't play one playlist religiously, there's no way you're going to be top ranked, like very top ranked in the world for that, because other people are going to grind this playlist religiously. Like, for example, if somebody is grinding Slayer and that's all they play, them and their team of 4 play Slayer, it's going to be hard whenever you're dominant in Slayer, and you might be a better player than all of them. It's just like one of those things where, like, I don't like that you can lose your rank without playing. In Halo 3, yeah, like, you got your 50, but you wouldn't lose it unless you played on it. So, like, you could be like, oh, well, I achieved 50. Well, TU2 system said, yeah, you achieved 50, you're right, but the other kid just achieves more at it. So I feel like, you know, with the champion, if you're not able to lose your rank, then yeah, I feel like a leaderboard type thing once you reach max level is something that's needed, and not like Halo 5 where you lose your rank completely. You get kicked out of a division if you don't play because it's only the top whatever amount of players in the world. Like champion for Halo 5's top 200. What do y'all think about like, should it be based 1 to 50, just straight out everyone's a 1, or should there be like placement matches? Somebody might get luck of the draw.
I think placement matches be pretty cool.
I think it would be cool, but then like, and really honestly, if you think about it, like whether everyone starts out at a 1 or not, like technically, like we could play, and then like us 3 could play with Tiff. Let's say we play, you know, comes out, Destiny 2 comes out, that's our Tier 4 fire team. We go in and we happen to get a really easy draw, and we win 8 out of our 10 matches, and we get placed automatically on the 1 to 50. It jumps us all the way to like a 40. Or if it's divisional, it puts us in like Diamond or Onyx or something, like right at the top, or even, you know, at the up or lower echelon of the top division. Something that maybe we don't deserve right off the top. And then IAM plays, and they just happen to have the worst luck, and they match against like 13 Devils or Primal or BSK, and they match all kinds of other sweat teams that are top tier, and they win only 6 of their 10. And now we're ranked higher than IAM, the most dominant team in Destiny 1, PvP wise. So it's like there's a little bit of a problem with that. Whereas if we're 1, it's going to obviously take some time, and like eventually you're going to hit some rocky roads. Like I know people, the very beginning of Halo 3. Like few months in, whenever I was grinding through, where I took L's and lost to kids that were 30s, and I happened to be friends with them, and later realized that once I got to 50, they were only like 45. So like they happened to be better out of the gate, but when the game hit some longevity, I was a 50 and they were only like 45 to 47, maybe 48 at most. So like, and you would, you know, lose games obviously in the beginning of a game, not understanding the, you know, the meta, not understanding the maps. Oh yeah, and to go back real quick and touch on your maps suggestion, I definitely agree with it. I feel like some of the maps in Destiny 1 aren't very good for competitive play. They aren't symmetrical. You got maps like the Pit and even Guardian. Guardian is a freaking terrific map, amazing, one of the fan favorites of all time. But it was because it was so team based. You know, the way that you hold maps, and depending on what playlist you're playing with weapon control and stuff, that is something that in Destiny 2 is going to be much more prominent than Destiny 1. It's not going to be, oh well, you know, we need to stop this team from getting their ammo box so they can't get ammo. Like, you're going to respawn with ammo in the old meta. The new meta, okay, yeah, that could be useful, but not if you're rocking an icebreaker or sidearms or something where you spawn with ammo. Or can get ammo over time regenerated. In Destiny 2, it'll be a little bit better with the power weapon boxes and stuff, but in Halo, like in Nature, that's the perfect meta, is where it's like, okay, well, let's get map control. You know, whoever has map control gets weapon control, power weapon control wins the game. That's kind of how what you played for. You played for map control and power weapon control. And Guardian, even though it wasn't symmetrical, it was perfect for that kind of play. So, you know, that's what you want to look for, I believe, in maps for Destiny 2. I believe you want something that's very team-oriented. And there's some maps on this game that are team-oriented but still aren't fan favorites. We're talking about Vertigo. Vertigo's a good one. Because of the angles of that map, let's see, what's another one? Memento is somewhat symmetrical, but it's, you know, highly hated by really sweaty players, highly skilled community players. Let's see, what's the one?
What's y'all's favorite? I think my favorite's Bannerfall.
See, Bannerfall, perfect, and it's symmetrical. So it offers, you know, Burning Shrine's one of my favorites. It's also symmetrical. What's the one? Oh, Thieves' Den. Thieves' Den is absolutely horrible. I watched I watched Wish play a sweat
Deep Sea.
match against IAM. Against like Sir Demetrius, Say Wallabra, I think, and like NSPYR, someone like it was a 3-on-3 sweat match, and Wish was playing, and they actually lost, I believe, like 5,000 to 48 or 4,700, something like that. But it was because IM was so dominant at keeping top control. They literally didn't lose top control, but maybe like twice for a small amount of time throughout the entire game. They dominated top control, and when they had top control, there was very strong limitations on what you could really do if you were on Witch's team. And Witch's team really couldn't push. They would just keep getting picked, and that's the kind of thing where like why I believe Trials put in the kind of the hill, so you couldn't just camp top control the entire round, and spawns are obviously side to side, so it gives you a little bit of a chance to fight for top control. But even like in the map this week on Frontier, and just like on Pantheon, there's always going to be a spawn if maps aren't completely symmetrical. There's always going to be a spawn that's typically easier to get to the middle of the map. Bannerfall is probably the closest to being even, as well as Burning. Well, I wouldn't even say Burning Shrine because one team spawns inside, one team spawns outside. So that's actually one of those things where like I don't think that's as evenly based as it could be. I think you should spawn inside directly across from each other with the doors on a constant rotation, so you can't know oh, if I spawn I can immediately pick, and within like 1.5 to 2 seconds I'm gonna have an opportunity for a pick. I can peek it and have an opportunity for a pick within 2 seconds. If it's like a random rotation where it's spawning, you won't know. But to answer your question, Pete, I'd probably say my favorite map. What do you mean, just like in general, or for Trials, or for like threes?
Yeah,
in general.
Like you'd love playing. Like as soon as you get in that map, you're like, hell yeah.
I'd probably say
I've got a bad feeling about this.
either Burning Shrine or Anomaly.
Really, I'm a fan of Anomaly sometimes, but for Trials, man, it got hectic, especially when Shoulder Charge was meta.
And see, that's the kind of thing with Destiny. It's hard to pick, really. I mean, if we're talking about year 3 meta now, I'd probably pick something.
Yeah, Anomaly's a lot better now.
I'd probably say it's a little bit better. But I mean, the sidearms are still annoying and the stickies, but it's
the shotguns.
Yeah,
are
exactly.
a problem
Shotguns are the problem, and snipes are. They weren't really ever a problem in my opinion on that map.
Limited.
But you're definitely limited. All you ever see is icebreakers, which can be annoying depending on what you're playing. But we always play Trials with you.
And a lot of teams don't even run
Yeah,
them.
so we just sent you on the casual sniper, like common sniper lanes.
We've got incoming.
But with Bannerfall, I'd probably say like it's really fun, but I have to work extremely hard on closing the gap. Just being a hand cannon user, especially if I'm not rocking a snipe, not pairing it with the snipe, and this meta trying to completely ignore the meta and running a shotgun until kids get scummy, and then I want to run a sidearm just to shut them up. Unless I really feel like sniping, and then I'll either run a longbow or But Not Forgotten, or just be lazy and run an icebreaker. But probably for year 2 play, I'd probably say actually I'd prefer Bannerfall a little bit. I don't know. Burning Shrine and Bannerfall are kind of neck and neck for year 2 meta, because either way you opened up and people played the meta pretty fair. Obviously with there being a little bit more out in the open and it being year 2, you didn't have to face stickies as much. I think I would have had a 2.5 probably if it wasn't for stickies or last time we played Anomaly when I had that 2.2.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting a map.
Shores of Time is a cool one. I like Shores of Time.
Yeah, Shores of Time is pretty badass.
It's not a good competitive map, but it's like a fun map.
I feel like Vertigo, actually, every time I play Vertigo, I usually am really successful. In year 2, that might have been actually my favorite map, because I would run But Not Forgotten and drop 20 to 30 bombs running 6-on-6 in Rift.
Yeah.
And obviously I'd just play selfish. I'd play independent. I wouldn't really care about the Rift or capping the Rift or anything like that. I'd leave that up to my other 5 teammates. But I would run constantly from side to side trying to get picks, and just play one-on-one between every single player that came into my lane. And it was fun. But now in year 3 you can't really do that, so I'm forced to either do the same strategy that I've done for hundreds of games in year 2 and ignore the meta, or play differently, which is obviously not going to be as fun or probably as successful. Still think it's a fun map, but not as preferred as it was in year 2. Rue, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
I think we made our point.
What's your favorite map in the game?
In this game, yeah, honestly, that's a hard question for me. A lot of people were gonna be like, "Wow, like your decision, you know, stages," but I really like Memento, honestly. I don't know, I just really liked it. You know.
I don't know how to respond to
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
Like I know it's
I've had good games on it, but it's like I
had a lot of fun on
get
it.
aggravated.
I kind of agree with Pete. Like, I've had good games, but at the same time, some of the scummiest, worst games I've seen.
Head glitching.
Exactly, like the
Alright, no,
freaking
for real, if I had to,
outside.
If I had to give you a straight up answer though, my straight up answer would be Burning Shrine.
yeah, it's like mine's
Um,
neck and neck.
I like the
Definitely
small,
top 3.
Small maps, you know, engage quickly. And,
What's the one with the grab lift going
it's
across map?
great trial.
Crossroads.
Crossroads. I like Crossroads.
I feel like, I don't know, like, what was your most favorite map in Halo 2? Well, I can't really speak Halo 2 because I didn't play the game really competitively. I just played it like, yeah, I played it competitively, but not
I think
from
it was
like
called
a
Zanzibar then.
yeah, like not a perfect, like, I didn't play it from like a MLG standpoint in Halo 2. I just played to try to do whatever it took to win and get, you know, towards the 50, which me and Rhea had 28s, and I was running dual wheels, something I would have never done if I could go back in time. I would have been running a BR, and I would have straight up been just, you know, playing sweaty. Obviously, would have probably been better, well into the 30s, possibly 40s. You know, being a top tier player, you know, knowing what I know now about just first person shooters in general and how to play and stuff. But in Halo 2, I'd probably say Lockout
It's a massive ritual.
and
They won't be
Rue.
happy we're here.
So we got Zanzibar, Lockout, and
Hey, he went lockout too, I think.
Yeah, lockout.
well, what about Halo 3?
Last resort.
See, me and Rue have a little bit more of a competitive perspective because he's playing MLG
Yeah.
for years. I'd probably say Narrows.
Oh, I loved Valhalla. Valhalla was fun.
Now, see, Valhalla was extremely fun whenever playing like BTB or Squad Battle. That shit got lit,
Yeah.
dude. Like, so much fun. Like, you'd play some sweaty teams, you know, searching in Squad Battles TO5. So you'd, you know, get a TO5 full of just, you know, straight setups out of Squad Battle teams, and that it was kind of fun to see, you know, because a lot of the Squad Battle kids weren't usually sweaty ass like MLG top tier players. So like they would still be like maybe 50s, or they'd be like Squad Battle would be one of their highest setting, like they'd be 45 Brig Gens coming in or 48 Brig Gens trying to, you know, dominate you, and you easily win your ones unless they were running like in a vehicle or something. But I'd say probably based off my top 3 was Guardian, Narrows, and the Pit, but I'd probably say Narrows. I think Narrows probably.
Narrows was fun.
What about you?
My favorite map was Pit.
Pit? Yeah, that's like close second for me. Alright, well, I mean, I don't think there's much more in this episode. Kind of a long video, guys, so if you're still watching at this point, thank you for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And definitely stay tuned for episode 2 of this vlogs or podcast series, talking about what Destiny needs to do to improve its experience. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.